Developing meaningful program curricula for STARTALK teacher programs. The goal for this short overview video is I can use the STARTALK model curricula to guide development of a meaningful curriculum for my program. In 2021, STARTALK released a new STARTALK curriculum template for teacher programs to support 4 new teacher program types. Why 4 new teacher program types? Well, let's take a quick look and remind ourselves how we came to that decision. In much of education, teachers, be it pre-service teachers or practicing teachers, are bombarded with terms, terminology, and there's the wealth of content every single time they set foot into a professional development session. And while those terms may change, for most teachers, their practices might not change, and we really have exposed them to a world in an educational buzzword world. And it's time to stop the insanity. So what we're hoping for is that teachers will actually change their practices because of their experiences in a STARTALK program. What we don't want to happen is this. We don't want to move just from one set of terminologies to another one. Instead of talking about chalkboards, talk about Google Slides. Instead of talking about textbooks, talking about online books. Replacing notebooks with laptops and tests with assessments, but actually cause teachers to change their practices. So every program director and instructional lead for a STARTALK teacher program should ask themselves the following question. What changes do you want your participants to make in their practice? As you know, there are 4 teacher program types: overview, focus, demonstration, and practicum. An overview program provides participants with opportunities to understand and explain the role of selected key concepts. A focus program allows participants to plan for implementation of those key concepts. In a demonstration program, participants plan and implement those concepts in peer or micro teaching experiences. And in a practicum program, they plan, implement all of those things while having direct teaching experiences in a connected STARTALK student program. In short, an overview program is an introduction. A focus program is all about planning, demonstration is all about practice, and our practicum programs are all about implementation. So each 4 of those program types have different desired outcomes, which requires each of those program types to have a different curriculum. In order to support your work as you develop a curriculum, we have created a curriculum guide and a set of sample curricula. You will find 1 sample curricula for each program type on the STARTALK website. If you go to the program resources section and find the program implementation before the program section, click on teacher program instructional tasks and resources. You will find the 2021 curriculum guide, as well as the sample curriculum. I will now walk you through one of those sample curricula to highlight some of its features and also review the overall structure of the teacher program curriculum template. As in the past, in stage 1, you'll be identifying the curriculum overview and the program goals. So when we look at this example, this happens to be the sample curriculum for a focus program. And you can see on the screen the overview. This happens to be a 7-day program. It focuses on developing a sequence of learning experiences. It's for about 20 teachers that have at least 3 years of experience. They're going to talk about lesson planning, and most importantly, As a result of this program, participants will be able to deconstruct a set of unit learning targets that identify performance tasks and use those unpacked can-do statements to develop a sequence of lesson plans and learning experiences. The program then unpacked those 3 TEL criteria that identified at the proposal stage, PL4, PL7, and LT2, into a series of sub-criteria. A quick reminder, you must pick at least one sub-criterion for each TEL criteria identified in your proposal. However, we will limit you to no more than 8 program goals. So no more than 8 TEL sub-criteria. In stage 2, you'll be creating performance assessment tasks. Those tasks respond to a group of program goals. So let's say you have one TEL criterion and you identify 2 of the subs that support that TEL criterion. Those 2 become your program goals, and then you will create one task by identifying what is the evidence and a brief description of that evidence. So performance tasks are usually for a group of sub-criteria, and they are always aligned to one TEL criterion. In our focus program sample, you can see here the task, which has the evidence, which is a learning progression, and then a short of description that aligns to the sub-criteria and the TEL criterion identified. In stage 3, you'll be identifying checks for learning, the resources needed, and create a short program outline and schedule. As a reminder, those checks for learning address the 3 stages of learning: acquire, process, and apply for each TEL sub-criterion. In our focus sample curriculum, you'll see the example here. And a quick note that all of the sample curriculum only contain one unpacked TEL criterion. So in this case, it happens to be PL4. Of course, if you were an actual program and had to complete the entire curriculum, you would do this for all of your sub-criterion. The sample only contain one fully fleshed out TEL criterion. That's why they are samples and not models. So a second question you might want to ask yourself then is, what will participants need to know today to transfer tomorrow? And certainly that question of what is today and what is tomorrow has changed drastically just within the last year. Many of our teacher programs are just a short 7 days or a little bit longer, some of them even a little bit shorter. And for years, we've been telling you to think about less is more. However, in 2021, we want to take that even further, because it's not just a saying, but we really mean that this time. In 2021, we think that more is simply not realistic. Almost all of our teacher programs have moved to a completely online format. And with that comes a little different reality for what it means to be in a STARTALK teacher program. You don't have the luxury of being together with your participants for 4, 5, 6, 7 hours a day in one or multiple rooms. You don't have the luxury of creating community in the outside hours if it's a residential program. So what does that mean to be a participant in an online teacher program? And will you be able to accomplish as much as you perhaps wanted to in the past? I want to encourage you to really think about the idea of Zoom distractions, because while they might be participating in your program, there might be other things going on as well. And thinking about that, we might have to adjust our expectations when we create the curriculum. And so this year, truly less will